This is an infrared sensor clip that was uploaded to a classified network in November 2020 and later identified by AARO as part of a responsive collection. The footage runs just under 5 minutes and shows a low-contrast thermal area held near the center of the frame while the sensor pans to maintain it. Early in the clip, that area of contrast gradually increases in relative intensity. For several minutes, the platform keeps the subject in view. Then a second area of contrast moves into the top right portion of the field of view. As the second area appears, the sensor changes its pointing and the operator or the automated tracker pans to follow that new target. The clip contains no on-screen annotation that establishes custody, and AARO notes this material was held on a classified network and that many items located in the collection lack a substantiated chain of custody. On March 6, 2026, 8 members of the United States House of Representatives requested access to 51 potentially UAP-related records allegedly held by the Department of War and the intelligence community, and this clip was identified in the resulting review. The release program for these files is Pursue, and this particular item was made available to the public on May 22, 2026. AARO assesses that the video is likely derived from an infrared sensor aboard a United States military platform operating in the United States Central Command Area of Responsibility in November 2020. The visual character of the scene is what you would expect from an infrared view at some distance. Areas of contrast that register as brighter against a cooler background, motion that could be the result of the sensor panning as much as the object moving, and limited spatial detail. Midway through the clip, the camera motion is the dominant cue. The sensor follows the brighter region and holds it roughly central, then transitions to keep the second brighter region in frame. Observers will note the gradual increase in intensity of the primary contrast area and the later transit of the secondary area across the upper right quadrant of the view. The defense review that produced this extract treats the video as distinct from a related clip labeled DOW-UAP-PR077. The agency cautions the two are not duplicates, even though they depict highly similar subject matter. Because the files were stored on a restricted network, and because provenance is incomplete, AARO emphasizes that this footage should be interpreted carefully and that the release is an evidentiary disclosure rather than an analytical conclusion about what the imagery shows. That caution extends to movement interpretation. Panning by the sensor can mimic or obscure apparent accelerations or changes of bearing, and thermal contrast can change with viewing geometry or background temperature. The combination of sensor motion and limited spatial resolution means the clip is most useful as a record that something of interest was tracked, and less useful as definitive proof of a particular explanation without supporting data, such as radar tracks, maintenance logs, or chain of custody. The record is notable both because it comes from within the Central Command Area of Responsibility and because it surfaced only after a targeted congressional inquiry seeking many potentially related files. The agency release program Pursue and the Department of War metadata attached to the item identify where the material was found, but not a complete investigative outcome. For viewers seeking more detail, the case is cataloged under CENTCOM in the public release, and connected items and related footage are available in the same collection. This clip is one piece of a larger archive that includes imagery, notes, and related entries that together document a set of incidents reviewed by multiple bodies. Explore the case file, related footage, citing reports, and our weekly UAP News podcast at UAPDrop.com.